How you doing, fellow kids? Welcome to another d.i.t.s podcast, the deep in the shallow. Welcome again. If you like that project, please subscribe on our YouTube channel, the deep in the shallow. And if you like the project also on Spotify, please follow us. I discovered that I can't monetize the content on Spotify because this motherfucking show is roasted in Brazil, is hosted in Brazil. You know, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I should when I idealized that I wanted to make an English speaker podcast, I should have been, thinking on hosting it in an English speaker country. So, well, it's kind of too late. I'm afraid that I'm, I'm cursed to ever do these shows for Brazilian who want to speak English, or for, you know, English or Americans, British or Americans who for some reason won't give me money. So that's it. That's it. And I'm stupid. Now we're in June 14th at almost high noon. I am so at light making this podcast because I have no time today and yesterday and this week, because I have a fucking routine of a worker and a studier and a college student. Oh my fucking god, I'm so done. And a college student, and I have no time for breathe and do that stuff. But that's it. It's today's d.i.t.s. I hope you guys, the few ones who's listening it, are enjoying. I know that a friend of mine, a pretty close friend of mine, is listening to this, and I hope I am getting better. We're getting better all the time. Well, sometimes, every time I was a child, one of my greatest, uh, qualities was being very polite. Of course, some friend of mine could listen through this podcast and disagree completely. But, without you monkey guys, I always was known as in professional areas and these stuff as a very polite guy. And I am a very polite guy. Cause because my mom always taught me in a hard way how to be a very polite guy. And I believe that a civilized culture must be very polite. I listen, I watch to, I, you know, I witness how the Japanese and the Oriental people conduct their way, and I keep astonished because it's very beautiful. We always had this. We have in all the World Cups, the Japanese guys, cleaning the fucking stadium for any reason. But that's very cute. That high trust society. It's something completely astonishing, and maybe a perfect world will be like this. But I don't live in a perfect world, and probably the one who's listening to me don't live in a perfect world. we live in a society, like the Joker. We live in a society. And I always was a very polite guy. Like the benefit of it. But these days I'm kinda noticing that I maybe not that polite. I'm not the perfect polite. Let me explain. I don't know if that is in the whole world or I am a fucking maniac, but I hate to use the good morning stuff. I hate this. When you work in a company, in a firm, and you see the same people every day. You have your colleagues that literally work side by side on you every day. So they know your face, they know your girlfriend's name, they know your mother's name, they know your problems. You talk to them. These guys, have the obligation, and it's very good, to say hi, to say good morning, to even sometimes have a talk. I have my own colleagues, and I never had any issue on designing, a good morning, a good afternoon. That bureaucracy of life. Oh, I had the name of the show, one of the two titles. The bureaucracy of life. I don't have any issue with that. My very close neighbor, my door neighbor, I don't have problem with good mornings and good afternoons and good nights and the stuff. But I have, I don't know if I am a maniac, I am a lunatic that must be contained in a jail, or I am just, annoying. But I hate to take good days from people that I don't know. I don't know, I feel kind of guilty to hate this. I feel kind of guilty to not giving the good morning in the back. I don't give the good morning back to the person. But I feel guilty about this, so I should be politer. But I also feel guilty for being guilty of not being polite. I don't know you, you asshole. I don't know you. You work in the same firm as I, but you work in the 11th floor. You are an IT guy. I'm not despiting your job. I don't want to be misunderstood. It's not that I think you're inferior. It's just I don't want to talk with you because I don't work with you. I don't live with you. Sometimes a good morning, a good in Brazil we say good day, bom dia. A good morning, it's okay sometimes, but that obligation, it's not about the person itself, himself, herself. It's more about me. I think it's the second choice. I think I am the lunatic and the person is just normal, and everybody's normal, and I am an asshole. But I hate to have this obligation on the good morning. In a classroom, okay, I arrive in the classroom, so good morning, good afternoon, okay, I see these assholes every day. And even in this scenario, I don't give the good night to everybody. I don't give the good morning to everybody. But in the job, if I don't do it, maybe some guys, maybe someone, I don't, it's not maybe. Some people will point at me and say that I am not polite. That I'm a fucking, I'm fucking savage, man. I'm a fucking, how can I say it? No, I'm a barbarian. Oh my god, he don't gave the good morning for the fucking IT guy. from one of these guys who work in the, I don't know what, in the second floor, in the first floor. I hate this. I always hated this. And I live in a house in a suburb. I don't live in an apartment, in a flat. But I imagine how torturing must be for these people to need to give the good morning for every neighbor in the elevator. This thing, I think it is torture. I don't know, maybe I am. Maybe I don't like to socialize that much. Maybe I am the lunatic at all. But you listener who live in a flat, please, this is the first time I will do it. Please comment. It's a common thing in your life, or you already are free from this guilt, from this will of good morningness, the good morningness guilt. This is a great title for the podcast also. But that's my biggest, how my life, it's difficult when one of my greatest headaches is giving someone or not good morning. But I know, I of course I know we live in a society, and I know I have to be that polite, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just a lunatic. It's okay. One of the happening of this week in my life was that I kind of trying to listen more music. I always liked music. I always like to listening to full albums, and that's the moment of this entire show, this entire project, that you guys maybe will know about my music taste, which it isn't that great, but I will try to make it very clear. And I am concluding that Oasis is kind of good. I I don't know how it began. How I knew that Oasis, the Oasis band. If you don't understand my poorly Indian accent, I will say it again. Oasis. Okay. I think maybe some guys, and no one told me, because no one listening to this podcast. But I have this feeling that maybe someone who's listening maybe don't know everything I'm talking about. So the last episode was about Lord of the Rings, and in my head I assume that everyone knows the Lord of the Rings characters, and then I keep the show must go on. And listening to the episode, I get, for the ones who understand a little about fantasy and Lord of the Rings, it was very good. It wasn't very good, because anything I do for now is very good. But maybe a normal guy who is not like that much of nerdy guy maybe don't understood. So I also, I have this fucking Indian accent, because I am not born in the USA. I'm not born in UK. So of course that this some words will be kind of messy, and I have to repeat it again and again and again. So this time I will make it properly. I'm talking about Oasis. Okay. So Oasis, this band, I will always, that every time that I will say this band, I will say it like this. I I always knew that Oasis exists, and I've never, pooped the shit for Oasis. I I won't lie. Oasis for me was Wonderwall, the music Wonderwall, and that's it. I've never searched anything. I knew the name of the two British assholes, the Noel and the Liam Gallagher, just because there is a soccer player who have, I need to stop to saying, who has played for, I think, Crystal Palace and for Chelsea, that has the Gallagher's name, and I like this name, so of course I will remember. And I know that these two brothers also are Manchester City, the club Manchester City fans, fanatics, hooligans. That's all I knew about Oasis. I knew about Wonderwall. I knew that was a band. There was twins. I don't know if they're twins. I think they're just brothers. They're brothers and of the Man City stuff and the names. But I never stopped and listened and listen. I never hear and listen. There is two verbs that I need to understand how to use it. I think the time will heal it. But okay, I start to listen to these guys' music, and always is kind of good. I was surprised how good it was, cause I am a very British rock and roll bitch. One of my favorite bands of all time is the Beatles. Maybe that's a shocking stuff that I'm a fucking monkey in the Brazilian jungle, and I like the Beatles and a fucking old band. But that is not that indie, is not that cult, is literally the greatest band of all time, in size. And yeah, Beatles is one of my favorite bands. Maybe some episode when I am more inspired on music talking, I maybe talk about my favorite band. That is Creedence Clearwater Revival, but I don't think today is the day. I will, write it for the other episode. I love Beatles, and I have this little goodwill on British music. I like American rock and roll. I am a very I don't like it's time to talk about music taste. I hate most of pop music and rap and hip hop. Even the Brazilian ones, the American ones, the British ones, I think it's all fucking garbage. I don't understand about music enough to say why it's garbage, but I just don't like it. I listen it. I listen it to every fucking genre of hip hop, and I just don't get it. Just don't feel what you guys maybe feel. What you the one who listening to me. I don't know what you feel when you listen to this. We in Brazil we have a great scene, of Brazilian rock and roll and Brazilian hip hop. I don't like neither. I know maybe I am just a trying to be different type of guy, but I just don't like it. I just don't enjoy it. Even the Brazilian, and of course, when you take through the American stuff, these guys I don't like it. I am just maybe I'm just a fucking boomer in mind or something like this. Anyway, let's get back on Beatles stuff. Maybe, of course, maybe someday I will speak about some of my Beatleness love. I love the Beatles, and I always saw Oasis as a post the Beatles movement. Okay, because when you talking about the mainstream music, that that timeline of music, you always, it is always kind of same thing. You have these movements post Beatles. We are talking about some psychedelic. We talk about Pink Floyd, and then when you and Led Zeppelin, and the Oasis was there. Post Beatles, not punk, so I won't hate because I don't like punk either. Not a metal stuff, so I won't get attracted. So I like metal, but okay. Uh, Not anything like metal, anything like Black Sabbath, anything like how another band. It's not like it's not like Guns N' Roses. No, these movements was very mainstream rock on this time. Then the 2000 came in, and these guys was not Nirvana. These guys were not. I never just seen there is these two brothers from Manchester, and I just okay. You make music. They talk a lot. They talk bad a lot. They talk a lot bad about Brazilian. I'm sorry. They talk a lot bad of American song and metal. And they had a pretty good song that is Wonderwall. So I, for some reason that I don't know, I start to listening to these guys' music. I listen Don't Look Back in Anger, and I listen the whole album. There is Wonderwall's also, and I enjoy it. Though there is, it's been a long time since I just discovered some new music and like it. It's it's since a while, you know, when I discovered a new band or a new artist. Not new, these guys are not new, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because I'm discovering a whole new type of music. It's just the Beatles slowed and kind of crashed with that nostalgia, vibes. It's just that. I know I just described the whole Oasis career with this. It's just Beatles with kind of nostalgia and slowed. It's good. It's nice. And these guys are kind of. I like the style. I don't like the aesthetic. Maybe that British aesthetic. And I will just continue to listening. And, about music. There is some time that I don't listen music. Because my life is all about podcasts. I listen radio shows and podcasts every single time when I need to listen to something. When I'm the gym, when I'm the public traffic, when I am walking to my work, walking to my home, to the college. Always when I want to listen something, music isn't more the isn't the option, isn't the first option. Now the option is podcast. So I grab any stuff that could be used as podcast because I know I have this I have this idea too. If the video don't have any visual slang, it's a long video, I will listen to your video like a podcast. Because that's life, that's how it's done. And I like it. I love podcasts. I love shows. But the honors of this choice, it's that I'm not listening to music anymore. It's so rare it's so rare when I'm, at the gym and I just don't want to listen some asshole speaking bullshit. I prefer to listen some asshole speaking bullshit than a good music. That's nuts. That's one of the main reasons that why I am doing this. Cause I want to be one of these assholes, spelling bullshit for some asshole in the other side, listen and preferring to listening to this than listen to music. That's my that's my job here. That's my way, you know. That's my preference. And I'm not and that's it. I will try to listen more music. And probably Oasis will be one of the first of the line because I like Scousers and those shit. This episode will be rarity. Because today I won't talk about any art piece. You know, any narrative. I won't talk about storytelling. Maybe the word that I most repeat in these, 3, 4 episodes of this, that is storytell and character and protagonist and this stuff. Today I won't talk about anything because I'm not reading anything at all. But I am thinking a lot. I'm a thinker, I'm a philosopher. Bullshit, full bullshit. I was walking on a shopping mall these days because Brazilian. There was the Brazilian Valentine's Day. I know that it's different in every country or not. I know that Americans have the different Valentine's Day that the Brazilians, but what matters is day 12th, the June 12th was Valentine's Day, and I'm dating, I have a girlfriend, but that's not relevant now. What is relevant that I need to walk into a shopping mall, a shopping center. And when I was, the rolling stairs, I was, just with my headphone and listen to, as the last block explained, some asshole speaking bullshit. I was looking, I don't know if this is a constant in every country, but I think it is. That is the net between the layers of the shopping mall. Because of course that's obvious. Some idiot will try to kill himself in a fucking public shopping mall, and these nets are for protecting it. I'm not saying that if you want to kill yourself you are an idiot, but that's how people will look at you. I'm sorry. I'm just saying reality, and if you don't agree with me, that's the d.i.t.s, and that's it. But there is these nets in the shopping center, and you know, these nets can hold a 100 kilos guy. I think it can, but that was not my concern. That was not the problem that came in my mind. What I thought. What stopped me in that moment on jumping on the net, not for killing myself, I'm not a suicide guy. What stopped me from jumping that net and just hang around until some, employer of the shopping mall came and rescued me? What stopped me? the shame of being really of being mocked for the people on the shopping mall. Maybe, maybe that the the what boundaries exist then stop us to making stupid shit. What is these boundaries? Of course, there is a lot of psychiatrists, psy, what the fuck? What's this name? The psychiatrist. What? I think there is a lot of psychiatrists that could explain what these boundaries is. Sigmund Freud moment when he arrives from the skies and say, that's it because of you want to fuck your mother and kill your father. But speaking in the shallow, being deep in the shallow, these boundaries are so artificial, but at the same time are so not soul of soul. So I'm sorry, I have an Indian accent. It's so artificial, but in the same time are so strong on us. I'm not saying that we don't need to have these boundaries. These boundaries are great. These boundaries are a symbol of a civilized species. You know, I having these boundaries, it's what make me a part of a monkey, make me a part of a horse, of a lion, of any savage, any wild animal. And that boundaries is what makes society, and the buildings taller and the pyramids greater. But at the same time, I will anything bad will happen to me if I just jumped on the net. The net maybe broke up, but I just get hanged a little and fall over these stores who selling cookies and break some stuff. I could just get down and keep walking. Anything bad will happen to me. Maybe someone find me, but what will they do? They will beat me. They will tank. I know there is probably maybe some these jurisdiction, these laws. Oh my god, I think I understand it. Maybe societies, maybe a society made a law. Oh my god, I feel like the dumbest person on earth. I was so stupid thinking on things of the show. I just forgot the concept of law. But anyway, there is some scenarios that there is no law who stops that. I was watching a video, a meme of Family Guy, and in America there is no crime in the if a guy just take the pants down and rub the ass on a balcony of a bar. There is no crime. And this was a very smart observation, There it is no crime. What the crime that I commit if I just jump on the net? Not for killing myself. I'm not inciting anyone for jumping on the net. Get help. Okay, that's it. But if I jump on that net, nothing maybe will happen to me. I will listen something bad from the employees, and I will just walk off the shopping mall, and that's it. I will get ashamed. What stops me of doing ridiculous stuff, not criminal stuff? I know what in my insight, some minutes ago, I understood what stops me from committing crimes. That is laws. So I'm sorry. I am not that smart to understand to understand law system. But what's the boundaries that stops me from doing ridiculous stuff, ridiculous mockery? You know, uh, 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 what stops me of in my work? I just say about something that is very strange and scatologicus. Anything will happen, bad will happen to me. I won't be fired. I won't be I won't be beaten if I say about poop and pee pee or of my with my colleagues. I will be tagged as a fucking weird guy. Okay, I am a weird guy. Not that hard, but I will be tagged as the weird guy. But that's the boundary. The society made some boundaries that stopped you to be a ridiculous guy, to act like an idiot. But if you act like an idiot, materially, nothing happens. I know I don't try it. I know I'm not. If you, if you, my listener, I not try anything that I say here. I am not a ridiculous in public. I probably will never say these words if I was not making a show. But I thought it. It was I think about it. And that's crazy. Because, of course, when I saw that net, I think that I'm jumping on it. Just for get hanged for a while until I get released. And that's fucking insane. I think I am insane. I think the more than the bureaucracy of life, the social bureaucracy, the true reason what I'm doing here is to confess that I'm fucking insane. I'm getting insane. Okay, that's not an ask for help. Okay, that's a joke. Okay. That's a new standard, I think, for this, because this was the first time that I recorded an episode in just one sit down. I just sit, recorded the introduction, the whole content of the podcast, and here I am. This is some new. I like to do it, but I understand that I won't make it every time. So if you like this kind of new vibe of the podcast, because I recorded everything one after another, I just stopped, saw what the schedule, what the script was, and continued. If you listening this and you thought that it was good for the show, please comment below. And the conclusion of the episode. I think I did. This was a great episode. I'm trying to get better all the time. Again, if you like this project, please follow this on Spotify. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Okay, follow this also on Instagram. This week I was a moron that I don't post for the second episode, the d.i.t.s 2 about the little fuckers, because this video had copyright stuff. I get a little sad about it, but I will just try to use copyright free songs from now. And please follow the Instagram as well. Like the Instagram page as well. It's the same name. I am the only moron that chose that bad name of Deep in the Shallow. So please follow Deep in the Shallow in every social network. I am proud of what I'm doing. I'm liking making the dits. And please share with your friends, even if you don't like it, please show for your friends and should look at this Brazilian stupid trying to speak English well and make something cool. That sound kind of depressive, but that was the weekly d.i.t.s episode. Thank you guys for watching and have a awesome day. Thank you.